Hi.
I'm loud, some might say obnoxious, but here I am, right? So, let's start the calisthenics. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just trying to lighten up the mood here. Okay, so, I'm Antoinette. I am a certified career specialist for Alta Point Health in Mobile, Alabama. And these two geniuses, Joel and Alex, let me go through the Respect Initiative. So here's my story, okay? And the title of my book is Facing Shadows, Chasing Dreams. For me, growing up was both swift and complex. In my mind, in my small world, there was always a Molotov cocktail waiting to explode at any moment. Back then, I felt as if I was drowning in an ocean of all the latest stigmas. A single parent upbringing, an absentee father, a home drama filled with seasons 1 through 4 of substance abuse training. And what I mean by that is it just kept repeating itself in my family generation after generation. And then sexual trauma, cookie on the top, right? So I was gonna find a way to make everybody smile, one way or the other. I decided early on to make it my life's mission, and then my life's purpose and meaning, to take care of every single body. My assignment was to make everyone feel warm and fuzzy and happy, and maybe that would in turn make me happy too. Well, by doing this, I would later come to realize that I'd become the greatest unknown actress that ever lived. And that was masking, learned very, very early on. Being a single parent came with some great challenges for my mom. 3 children by the age of 20. The road ahead was never an independent straight line. Never smooth as I can remember it. We were happy children. We had the best games around, like, come on, you guys remember Twister and Clue, and of course Monopoly, which if it looked like she was gonna lose, my sister would flip over the board on you. We were relatively well-mannered children and well-dressed too. Of course, poor by the economic standards back then, but my mother never gave up the fight to make sure we had everything that we needed. And despite not having all our physiological needs met, most were. I enjoyed walking in the rain, writing poetry, a love of classical music, and torturing my siblings with my made-up accents from French, German, and Irish-speaking individuals. Yet, I always felt an unexplainable, immense sense of loneliness and invisibility. So trying desperately to be seen and to be heard, also disappear from life, and numb my pain all at once, I was 11 years old when I made the first attempt to take my life. Being the eldest child came with lots of challenges, and so many of them had a lasting effect on the person I am today. I didn't realize how my siblings teasing me, calling me names that began and ended with the word fat, back then, children being children, but how they would contribute to my decades-long battle with self-esteem and my body image. When I was a teenager, my dreams were always bigger than the world could hold, but I kept them to myself. I wanted to be an author and a school teacher and a professor, and after seeing Top Gun, I wanted to fly commercial planes maybe. I was scared and excited all at once. Somehow I still felt a bit off, like nobody understood me at all. By now I'd learned to find solace in cooking instead of it being a chore, being the oldest, and it no longer felt like a task. So, but no matter what fun I tried to have, I felt unworthy. Unworthy of happiness, unworthy of love, because my body and my choices have been stripped from me earlier in life. I'm forever damaged goods, I thought. It made for exceedingly difficult relationships as I entered and traversed through college. For me, college proved to be a place of a painful awareness of self. I was looking for love and friendships in all the wrong places and allowing myself to be taken advantage of in endless ways. I thought it was a space where things were scary and unkind. A pivotal point will come when I was faced with pregnancy at 19. Excuse me. And forced to deal with the aftermath of deciding to abort that child. Through all of that, I was blessed to leave college with 2 lifelong friends, despite my experiences. Ooh, I didn't think I was gonna go there, y'all. Ooh.
We got you.
Okay. I started having a meeting of the minds with myself in my early 20s. However, the so-called epiphany was spun out of an ultimatum from a then friend who insisted that our relationship not continue unless I sought help for my constant sadness. Thank God for her today. Over the next 10 years or more, I intermittently made attempts to address the elephants that seemed to haunt my world. Internally battling modern medicine, mental health diagnoses, and I'm with you, Chris, the pray it away theory, because that's what we were taught at a very young age, right? All the while, questions were swirling around in my head. Where am I? Why am I so sad all the time? Why can't I ever get it right? Why would I need to take medication to feel better? All those puzzling yet critically important questions. By my early 30s, I realized that healing couldn't begin unless I moved into that space willingly and walked into acceptance that I was different. Not crazy, not forever lost, not untreatable. Although early on, these were the negative words that I spouted to myself and many clinicians along the way. I started trying to face the issues, me against me. It wasn't me against the world. Once my eyes were open to this is work, not for the faint of heart, that's when the healing really kicked in. I learned the hard way not to believe the hype, that healing is not a linear path, and sometimes it feels like working your way through a jungle or a maze. Imagine my surprise when I had my first setback, then the second, and then the third. In August of 2019, my second attempt at taking my life came. I didn't see that one coming. Then in 2022, I would reach an enormous impasse, being extremely sleep deprived. I had a full-blown conversation with my deceased father. That's when I called in professionals and voluntarily signed myself into a mental health hospital. Here's the ironic part. It was the best sleep I'd had in a very long time. I am reminded of my father's last words that were said directly to me, and I quote, "I'm afraid you're going to have a nervous breakdown and never come back." So it's time to restructure some behaviors, switch it up, and keep moving. What I once called dreams are now goals. Strategic, purpose goals. Some big, some small, some short, some tall, but all me. So like finally finishing this book, okay? Which started in my 20s, by the way. Securing my nursing license by the summer of 2025. Securing a passport to take a trip to Europe, and being a land and homeowner. If I may, I'd like to leave my peers with just a few crumbs. The first thing is, remember your healing is a journey and not a destination. 2, breath work is still work, and hope truly does help us float. And the last thing is an acronym I made for myself, and I hope that it could be useful to somebody else. It's called Press On. Place reasonable expectations on yourself and see your soul operating in newness. And to the leaders of our behavioral health systems, I say, our struggle is real. We ask you to show empathy and hope you never have to sit in our seats. We bleed red too. Thank you for listening.